What If It's Cool is proudly brought to you by Respo Clothing. Feel like a champion by wearing the merch from all the stars, including Luke Resner, B Squared, Savannah Rowe, John Stop Action, Nova Nichols, The Cooters, and my personal favourite, Conflict Axiom. So feel like a champion by checking out Respo Clothing. They can be found on Facebook and on Instagram. The finals of the Alpha Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Tournament conclude at Alpha Pro Wrestling's All or Nothing, happening on Saturday, April 13th at the Pipework Market. Ticket link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. Before you see All or Nothing, make sure to check out Alpha Pro Wrestling's Energy 3, also happening at the Pipework Market. Entry fee is only $2. Make sure to check it out. Adrenaline Pro Wrestling presents Breakout 40, happening on April 26th, featuring the up-and-coming stars of Adrenaline Pro Wrestling. Ticket link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. MXW presents Game Over, happening on Saturday, April 27th at the Sunbury Memorial Hall. Ticket link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. Hello and welcome to another episode of What If It's Cool, the show where we talk about anything and everything that is cool in the world today. I'm former musician, now podcaster, Daniel Paul, and on this episode, part 3 and the final part of my interview with James Marshall. We talk about the formation of Conflict Axiom, Marshall's career in music, and what he finds cool because, wow, it brought back memories. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. I can't believe he did that with James Marshall.
Again, killing the business. Resner and I were living together at the time, and it was a similar situation to how Blaze came into it. I don't think it was necessarily a case of. I don't think Luke was going through anything or having his doubts or anything, but it was just kind of like, he's really good at training. I'd love to have a match with him. I think this would be a really good time because I'd just come off the match with JSA. We just had our no holds barred hardcore match where he's completely taken me out for a couple of shows.
Yeah, that was a great match too.
I loved that. That was I'll tell a story about that after.
Yeah.
But I got stories about everything.
Actually, wait till we do the reaction video to that one because okay. I would love to hear John's side of the story.
Yep.
Because yeah, I know he's itching to do that one.
No, that's fair. Well, yeah, with Luke, I was like, I want someone to wrestle, when I come back. And naturally, I said to Luke, like, hey man, what do you reckon? Let's do this. And fuck yeah, let's do it. Luckily, we had the we had the luxury that we lived together, so we could talk about what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. And I remember one thing I really pushed for at the time, and people thought I was silly for doing it because, like I said, I've always been about I want people's first impressions of people to be such a big deal, and that's why we did this. If you remember, we filmed a promo of him and Krash, obviously Krash being his trainer.
Yeah.
My reasoning, and look, I'll say straight up, that was my idea, and the reason I wanted to do it is because I don't want him to come out and people like, oh, who's this guy? I at least want people to like. Don't get me wrong, we're lucky he had so many friends there, and it was great. But with everyone else who doesn't know him, I want them to be familiar with him, see him on the screen, right? It's just like old school WWE. Like I all my creative comes from like 2005. WWE. And I thought in my head, if they see him on the screen here, we make it very clear this is his first match. He's a rookie. Let's show him with his trainer, and then let's have Chris Law come in and be a bastard. Because at this point, no one knew I was going to be there because I was injured.
Yeah.
And if you remember, Chris Law says, "By the grace of God, I hope you're ready." That was his cheeky little, the grace is coming.
Yep.
But the reaction he got when he showed up on the screen was amazing. And when he finally came out, knowing that the audience had seen him prior, I feel like that really helped showcase it.
Yeah,
and
definitely
like I said, that's just something I'm very, very passionate about is we want to we want to present everyone like they're larger than life. We want to present everyone that they're these big stars, because then the fans are going to be like, oh my god, I've got to see this guy.
100%.
And then they get to showcase it in the ring. And by God, did he showcase it? He kicked the living piss out of me.
Again, great match, and I wish you were part of that episode so we could talk a little bit more about it, because it was great. Yeah, look, you've had amazing matches with your rookies. I can't wait to see which new rookie comes out for you to kick.
Well, there's one coming.
All right, I was gonna ask, but no, I'd rather be surprised.
I'll say this right now. By the time this episode's out, it will have probably been announced.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this won't be up for a couple of weeks after we record it.
Oh, well, then, yeah. This match has already happened.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill him.
Woo! Strong words, mate. Very strong words. I do want to ask, because obviously, just tailing back to something that you said before. Obviously, you'd formed Caliber with TM Phoenix, the beautiful Blake Curtis, Misfortune. How did the whole Conflict Axiom thing come about?
So,
because obviously you guys were a little bit scared, but you did an issue. You went up and talked to the boss, but Blake was obviously terrified. What happened?
So, I'll quickly say with Caliber, the only reason that kind of stopped is I think just all of us were kind of, well, at least with TM Phoenix storyline, the storyline had allowed, because we'd always been rivals, so he was always going to leave eventually. With myself, Curtis, and Fortune, Misfortune was just at the time she was going in a different direction. We were going a different direction. May or may not have been some creative differences here and there. Just at the time, it was like, no, it's probably better that we go do that. She goes and does her thing. And that was that. I originally thought maybe Curtis and I will keep doing it on just us two. But look, I'll be honest, Caliber doesn't feel right without Fortune. So the whole Conflict Axiom thing came about because Chris Law had been planting the seeds for a long time. I remember, again, the first time I met him properly in the future was when I said to him, hey, you're the reason we're here. He cried. It was great. It was a very touching moment. Because I've come up to him like a fan, like, hey, man, can I get this photo with you? Because it was at an APW show. It was the first APW show was at when I realized who he was.
Yeah.
It was actually TM Phoenix who told me it was, hey, that's Jarrett Craven. And I was like, oh my God. Because I, again, hadn't seen him for like many, many years. But yeah, we just got to talking about, wrestling, what we like and all that sort of stuff. And I guess it resonated with him. He saw a lot of himself in Curtis and I. And on shows before, and this is before Conflict Axiom was even close to being a thing, Law was planting those seeds. I think he always had an idea. Pardon me. He always wanted to do something with us. He always had the plan. It was always going to be Curtis and I. There were two other people who I'm not going to mention who they were because I don't know if Law wants it to be revealed. I'll tell you after.
No, I can tell you this. No, he doesn't.
Okay.
I've had chats with the boss. He's told me put things that we can talk about, and this is definitely one he won't let us do.
That's no worries. We won't have to talk about that. But it was a show. Might have been Breakout 15, I think. Curtis and I wrestled against Nova and Crash. Chris Law at the time was the GCW Tag Team Champion with Xavier Black. He was doing commentary, and that whole, I didn't know he was going to do it. That whole match, he was just praising me and Curtis, saying everything we did, even if I was getting my ass kicked, he'd be sitting there going, "See, look, he's a very smart man. He's wearing him down." I'm like, I'm getting the shit out of me if I crash. Like, no, he's a visionary. He knows what he's doing in there. And that was the first time there was that bit of chemistry there.
Yeah.
And I remember after the match, we had intermission. And this is actually a little something I've got footage of it somewhere. There's a video that never made it out to the public. But I'm sure he'd be fine with us talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
It was intermission. Krash is out with the fans. We just done that match, and Laura and I came out to go get some air or something. And we thought, oh, hang on, Krash is over there. He's got fans over there. Let's give him. And Law, in typical Law fashion, is always switched on. Hey, Krash, you're not swearing. He wasn't swearing, but he's like, it's like, we'll get you next time. So I think he was feuding with Law with Krash at the time, as he always is, and he just starts throwing insults at him. And I'm standing next to him again. I'm in full guard, like, yeah, nah, you suck. And so the fans are sitting there going, oh, there's some real beef going on here. And so there is a photo of Laura and myself pre-Conflict Axiom starting with Krash. And I can't remember who was there. I know Smack Daddy was there. Maybe Nova was out there as well. I can't really remember. But that was the first little tease, I guess.
The little inklings that you got for being what you would
yeah. And then, as the breakouts went on, Law just had these ideas he wanted to do. And then, I don't remember exactly. It might have been at a training session. He might have been taking training, and he's just like, right, boys, this is what I want to do. I really want to do this. I really want to do something with you. Blah, 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 blah. So what do you think? I'm like, oh my God, let's do it. And Curtis at the time is just like, not saying a word, of course. I'm like, I think he means yes. And yeah, it was like, okay, cool, we're going to do this thing. We're going to be called the Deplorables. And then, yeah, the rest is history. Breakout 20, I think it was.
That was I'm trying to get this right. The Battle Royal.
Yes, for the breakout title.
Yes.
Because that's right. Because I remember this was after lockdown, and we thought, no, we've got to come back and we've got to do it's time we do this because we don't know when we're going to get the chance to do it because we're in and out of lockdown. So let's cement this so we can build on it. If we get put into another lockdown, we can really hash this out. And by that time as well, because Curtis and I hadn't teamed in a while, there was that little bit of are they still partners? Are they still teaming? What's going on? And I think it was in between that Caliber started to split apart.
Yeah.
It would have been around that time. So behind the scenes, no one really knew what was going on. I'd had my match with Chase Williams, which if I remember correctly, your reaction to that was the first time I saw you. And I remember thinking, oh, this guy hates me. But that's what I was like, but it's still at that time I'm thinking it's cool that someone's doing this. I'm going to keep watching. And then we had they had that battle royale. Isn't it amazing? The final four. You remember who they were?
James Marshall, Blake Curtis, Chris Law. No,
I wasn't in it.
Oh, weren't you?
No, I opened the show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Trying to remember who the other one. Blaze was the other one.
No.
Who the other two?
This is going to blow your mind. The final four of that battle royale for the Breakout Championships: Chris Law, Blake Curtis, Nate Nitro, and Som.
Oh, fuck me! I forgot. Yeah. Oh, we talked about this too off camera, and I remember you said, "Oh, this was foreshadowing, what was going to happen in 3 years' time." I went, "Fuck me!"
I know something funny.
Yeah.
As far as I know, neither of those Nate and Som were not even considered at that time. That was just a crazy coincidence.
All I'm gonna say is divine intervention, my friend. That's all
Yep.
I'll say.
That's it.
Thank you, God, for the gift of conflict axiom. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, I just heard Chris Law in the distance saying, "You're welcome."
That remember fondly. Because like you also messaging me as I rewatched it because I totally forgot about that, and I lost my mind. Like how this like these little divine inventions happen like that.
Well,
You know what I mean?
when I realized it, I was like, "Holy! How did that work out so well?" I you can't write that shit, or you probably could, but like, I mean, it was really. Well, I once I realized, I was just like, "Wow."
Mm. Mystical forces, Marshall. Mystical
That's
forces.
it. That's
Mm.
it.
I want we talked a lot about of bits of training and everything. I haven't even asked a staple question because obviously we did mention Jayson Krash a little bit earlier. What is your favorite Jayson Krash story, or at least one of them? Because I know that because I know there's a shitload.
Actually, you know what? This is a story that I love this. It was when Jayson Krash obviously uh took a year and a half off. I believe Conflict Axiom were the tag champions at the time, and this was after Curtis had just injured his knee.
Yeah.
I can't remember which show it was, but Curtis, pretty much, me and Nate cut a promo about how we're the greatest ever, blah, 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 blah. And Curtis, you have the floor. This was Curtis's first time talking on the microphone because usually I usually Laura myself with a mouthpiece.
Yes.
But this is a serious thing. Curtis has done his knee. He's out. Can't, he's not cleared, which sucked as well because we just won the belts. And I remember, so at that moment, that night, Krash returned, right? And I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but Krash returned and to a big surprise and got in our faces and took us all down a peg. We didn't know that was happening. It was not planned. It was not in the run sheet.
Yeah.
We knew nothing of it. The only people that knew was Krash.
Yep.
I think his wife and the sound guy.
Oh, so Law didn't know either.
I don't think Law was there.
Oh, wasn't he?
Wasn't he there?
I thought he was there.
No. So it was me, Nate, and Curtis in the ring. Law wasn't there at the time. I can't remember why, but he wasn't there.
Okay, because I remember this, but I thought Law was there. Okay.
No, because there was a period of time between the lockdowns where Law, I don't know if he was sick or injured. I can't remember what it was, but he wasn't. There was a couple of months he wasn't there. Anyway, before we go out, because we knew this was going to be a bit of a emotional topic. Like, so I remember Curtis, he called me because it was only a couple of weeks after we won the belts, and he called me very emotional. Like, look, doctors straight up, the doctors said he'd never wrestle again. And it was like, this is really, really hard, really moment. So we thought, all right, well, this show, you're going to go out there, tell the audience, be real. You go out there and say, look, I'm hurt. I don't know when I'm going to be back, but when I'm back, you're all on notice. Before we went out there, we're sitting there going, yeah, we're going to be good, get, hyping ourselves up. Music hits, right? The heartbeat's going, the Conflict Axiom heartbeat's going down, down, down. As we, just before I walk out there, Krash comes up to me, pats me on the back and says, have fun, bro. I'm so sorry. And I was like, what do you mean? As I've walked through, and he's pushed me through the curtain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
Is that why you tripped a little bit when you came out?
I think so.
Yeah, because I remember watching this and I was like, who the trips over that bit? Because there's nothing there to move. But now it makes sense because he got pushed.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I mean. He's like, I'm so sorry, bro. And again, it was like in that split second, I turn and go, what do you mean? And he pushes me. I'm like, yeah, here we go. Sorry, my cord just went weird. So anyway, the plan was we cut the promo. Curtis says what he's got to say. Our music hits. We put our fists up and we go. He's finished talking. And you'll see I'm slowly walking up to him to do the thing. And the lights go out. And in my head, I'm like, oh, I guess they're going to put our lights, our flashy lights on. And all of a sudden, Krash's music starts playing. And I remember, and I go back and watch this footage, you can tell no one had a clue, because not only our reactions were real. You see, I think Nate was smiling, going, oh, this son of a bitch.
Yeah, he was.
I'm sitting here going, trying to keep it in character as well, because I'm like, this bastard he's fucking with us.
You had a little bit of a smile from memory.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. When I say I'm always corpsing, I'm always smiling, I just go crazy, go, so no one knows. No one knows. Well, they do now. But I'm looking up at the screen and I'm seeing, actually, no, it was just the logo, but I'm hearing the music. I'm like, and for a split second, I thought, oh no, up. But then I thought in my head, he's sorry, that son of a bitch. I knew this, like that second, I'm like, he's going to come out here and school us. And as the music's playing, I turned to Curtis. I'm like, this son of a bitch, he didn't. And he's sitting there going, blank face, and he's just like, keep character. And Krash walks through the fucking curtain, and I'm jumping around like an idiot. And I'm just like, this son of a bitch, how could this motherfucker, are you seeing this? Wait, you see me go to the camera, I was like, are you seeing this? That was me being legit going, you son of a bitch, you just worked me. You absolute bastard. All the reactions were real because the camera crew didn't know.
Yeah.
No one in the locker room knew other than the person on sound. His wife knew, I'm pretty sure, because she had the phone out for social saying, oh my God, Krash is here. And I think I remember I got backstage and I had a text from her with a winky face. And I was like, oh, you bitch. And if you watch the footage back, look at the camera crew. I think Savannah was filming at that time.
I don't remember.
And there's two girls. There was Savannah and there was Kimmy, who used to film for us. I remember Kimmy was on the left side of stage, Savannah's on the right, and you can see she's doing this while holding the phone. She's like hyperventilating, right? Because she's behind the camera. She didn't know. Because she was originally up on the that's right. She was originally up on the apron filming us. Because this is back when we had the cameras up close. Once the music hit and she realized what was going on, she's like, oh my God, and she's had to run to catch it. And you'll see in the footage, Kimmy, the other girl, they're both holding their mouths because they didn't know what was going to happen. And I just remember thinking to myself, oh no, he has a microphone. Jayson Krash is about to kill Conflict Axiom with one promo. And by the end of it, we were known as the Backstreet Boys. That is my all-time favorite Krash memory, because I remember when I got backstage, and again, I say this again, just watch the footage. All my reactions are 100% legit, not in character. I tried to be in character, but they were all legit reactions. And I go backstage, and he's sitting there right behind the curtain with a big shitting grin on his face, just like he's just like, hey, bro. And I go up, I get right, and I'm like, you motherfucker, you. Like, I was like, you son of a bitch. Is that what you meant? Oh my God. And there was like just tears of laughter. Oh. We were both laughing so hard. And I remember the match after that. I can't remember who it was, but they're sitting there, blank face. They're like, we have to follow that.
Oh my God, I love
I
it.
make my way to the backstage area, and there's like 3 or 4 people going, "What the was that? Did you know about that?" And I said, "No, him." So, Crash,
Oh.
you're an asshole.
Wow, I think like this episodes featured James Marshall. There's just so many things we need to do Reaction Wrestling Wednesdays episodes on, and this is clear. This is clearly one where I need to
Yeah,
get yourself, Nate, uh, Curtis, and Crash
yeah,
on so we can just talk it through all the way through. Now,
yeah.
unlike other episodes, I'm going to pause it so we can actually see what we're talking about here. I think this is going to be hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now I wanna go behind the scenes of something because
Mm.
oh my God, I still feel dirty when I use wrestling lingo. Even though I work in wrestling now, I still feel that I'm not worthy to say this yet. But I popped so fucking hard when you told me this. I didn't know firstly you were in a band until you messaged me about it. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then you messaged me about something that I don't think anyone really knows outside of wrestling. Do you want to explain what you actually sent to me?
Is this about a certain theme song?
Correct.
So, the theme song for Adrenaline Pro Wrestling is "What You've Sown" by the band Sacred, in which I am the guitarist. Blake Curtis is the other guitarist, and I will give a little bit of trivia. Chase
Hmm.
Williams used to be the bass player at one point, but you didn't know that, did
You're
you?
you're shit me, really?
You know who else was? You know who else used to be our bass player?
Who?
We've had a lot of bass players. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
remember Evan Perks,
Golf.
Bailey PQ, whatever he
Golf.
if you if you go again, if you go on YouTube, you type in Sacred with a V, mind you,
Mm.
SVCRED. There's a music video called Nevermore. You will see Evan Perks, you will see Blake Curtis, you will see James Marshall.
Have you got a bass player now at least?
Yes, yes, we do.
Okay, about to say if anyone if they decide to leave, I'll put my hand up.
We're
Not that I ever want to be in music again because I don't. But oh my God, that's a stellar roster of bass players you got there.
that's only a couple. We've had so many bass players. It's like Metallica at this point.
Metallica's only had three. If you're gonna go bass players,
I suppose.
oh, trying to think who's had a lot of bass players in their bands. Slipknot, I think would probably be the other one. I think.
Maybe, yeah.
Um, yeah, I can't think of
But
anyone
either
else.
way, yes. So that the APW theme song is us. Curtis and I wrote that together alongside obviously the other members.
Hmm.
I get a video pop up in my memories every now and then because I first started writing the main riff myself. And it was very different to what it is now. Like my original riff that I wrote was completely comparison, but then Curtis took it and said, "Hey, let's do this instead." It
Mm.
was the same sort of thing, but he just took the notes and I think he just rearranged the notes and it became what it is now.
Mm.
Because I like it was very heavily like it's no secret. I'm very heavily inspired by early 2000s WWE, the Ruthless Aggression era. They were always using new metal like Limp Bizkit, Trust Company, and all that sort of stuff. And when we started writing that, I was again thinking of Trust Company,
Mm.
like Downfall. In particular, I think they use that for like Bad Blood or Judgment Day or something back in '02. I wanted to write something like that. And yeah, that's what that happened.
Are we gonna get a full-fledged album anytime soon? Because I've checked out a lot of your music now, and I think they're awesome.
Thank you.
But I and again, like I said on every episode I've had people on, I don't say these because I'm kissing their ass or their mates. I actually generally think they're good, they're fantastic.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm.
Look, we've got stuff that we're working on. I will admit, the pandemic us.
Mm.
Um,
Everybody, man.
yeah, I think we were really on the rise in 2020. Like I think 2019 we just opened we played a show with Non-Point and Head PE. Biggest show we've ever played. And it was like, oh, we're going up from here. Like, obviously, no one knows who we are. We're still pretty. Unless you follow APW, you don't really know who Sacred is. But we we're really starting to get on the rise. And that's what I mean. We played one show with Chase as our bassist, and then we went into lockdown. And I'll be honest, 4 years we haven't recovered since. And it's not because of anything in particular. It's just, we're all in different stages in life. Like, you've got I'm studying, Curtis is studying, Josh, our drummer, he's doing stuff. James, the singer, he's doing stuff. And again, same as the bassist, he's doing as well. We still talk. We talk every day. We've had rehearsals here and there. It's just the schedule's hectic, especially last year. And unfortunately, it does usually come down to mine and Curtis's availabilities. It's just difficult. We don't want to give up on it. Like, we're always writing stuff. Me, not so much now, because I don't have room where I am now. I can't really, like, right next to me is my amp, but I can't plug it in. I've got no room to play the guitar that much, so I don't do it as much. Curtis is always writing, and we send them back and forth. The vocals are still being written for demos. I'll tell you now, there's at least 50 songs that we could record and go. And we were in the process. So to answer your original question, we were in the process of sorting out an album. It's just obviously time, money, and all that sort of just gets in the way, and it just hasn't happened. But I know for me personally, I can't speak on behalf of everyone else, but for me personally, I know once uni's done, if I'm not on a film set, or wrestling, I'm going to be focusing on music, because I didn't focus on music for the last 10 years just to do nothing.
Yeah.
And I really want to play What You've Sown live one day. So we played it live once, and that was before lockdown.
Well, I'll definitely be one of the first people to buy a ticket for that show when it eventually does happen. Before we close up and ask the staple question here, what it's called, I do want to know the history behind the name James Marshall, because obviously, if we don't already know, because I've already revealed it that many times, your real name is Christopher.
Yes, that's it. I don't mind. We got to reveal that.
Where did James Marshall come from?
So I owe a lot of that to a few people. Tricky helped me a lot with that, as well as, so I used to do martial arts as well.
Yeah.
Right? My instructor at the time, John, he's a huge wrestling fan. So every time I went to martial arts, and I've been going to martial arts since I was like 5 years old. It was just a family thing. Me and my dad would always go to that. And we'd always talk about wrestling. It was always like, oh, you see what happened on Raw, see what happened on SmackDown. WCW was better, all that sort of stuff, because he's old school. And I said to him, like, oh yeah, I'm doing wrestling training now. And he's like, oh, what's your name? I was like, I don't know. And he's like, what about Chris Marshall? But Marshall is in martial arts. Right? I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So originally it was going to be Chris Marshall.
Yeah.
But Marshall spelled martial arts.
Yeah.
And then I was at a training. It was a promo session, a character development session at PCW with Tricky, and I think I mentioned Chris Marshall, and he's like, oh yeah, look, it's all right, but how do you feel about it? And honestly, I was like, oh, I'm not big on it, but I can't think of anything else. And then he asked, he's like, I think if I remember correctly, he asked, what's 2 things that are really important to you? And I'm like, oh, well, martial arts, music, wrestling, all that sort of stuff. He's like, music, okay. Who's your favorite guitarist? I was like, James Hetfield from Metallica. So and he's like, and then that's where the Marshall bit came on. So instead of martial arts, it was Marshall the amp. which I'm looking at right now. I've got a Marshall amp right here.
Nice.
So yeah, James Hetfield, Marshall amps, James Marshall was born. And I remember the first promo I ever cut, which if you ever watch my debut, I cut a promo before wrestling Lee Burns. And this is the same promo I cut in class. And it was pretty much ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm James Marshall. And if you step in the ring with me, it'll be like your own personal mosh pit. Because music. And he loved that. So that's why my original James Marshall was a musician. I used to come out with the guitar. So
now it makes sense.
Yep. And the blue flanny that I wore was what I used to wear in my old band. That's what I used to wear on stage because I had terrible fashion sense.
Still do.
Yeah. But yeah,
except for what you're wearing today, because I love Dragon Ball.
Yes.
So, oh well, that's actually really cool. I had a feeling that the James may have been James Hetfield, but the Marshall bit, I was always wondering where the it didn't even occur to me that it may have been from the amp company. So that's fucking awesome, dude.
Hell yeah,
love it. Now, the staple question here, what is cool? I know you've answered, well, you kind of answered last time because you said yourself. What is that?
Did I?
You did. Oh my god! So you said yourself and Dragon Ball Z,
nice.
but it was yourself that where all of us just went, okay, yeah, he actually does believe that. What is something that you find cool that nobody else does?
That's a tough one because I don't know what people don't find cool.
I just said there's something that's niche.
Looking around the room, I don't know.
So basically, you're reenacting your last appearance on the show.
Oh yeah. I guess video games. I guess, but I know a lot of people like video games, but I'm an avid gamer, so I just have to go video games.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, like
more specifically, story-driven games. Like I really love. Okay, I love the game Monkey Island. Have you ever heard of that?
Monkey Island.
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Because it's hilarious.
That's the thing. That Monkey Island. That's the one with the like it was like the speed monkeys and all that shit, right?
No.
No.
So it's about a guy who wants to be a pirate.
Monkey Island. Hang on. Why are you talking? So let me look at the screenshot so I can actually make
sure.
Yeah.
So it's a really old game. It was like LucasArts back in the day. Early 90s point and click adventure stuff. The sense.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So sorry to be unprofessional, but then again, this is what it's called. I'm not professional anyway. Yeah, I remember this game very well.
Yeah. So I'm currently playing Return to Monkey Island, which is the most recent game they brought out. And I've always been a fan of point and click games like that. I really like storytelling. I like storytelling. I like smart comedy, and puns and all that sort of fun stuff. And growing up, I always used to play the first two games, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was a kid. I was just doing random shit. But to this day, it's one of those games that I still like to go back and play. Like, I love the graphics. I love how dated. I love how dated it is. I love the old graphics.
It's a great game.
Yeah, and it's the comedy for me. It's the shenanigans. It doesn't take itself seriously. I love the fourth wall breaks, and it's just a fun story all around. I'm having a ball right now playing the new game. It's fantastic.
Where can I find the new game? Is it on Steam?
It's on Steam. Yeah, okay. I think it's on sale at the moment, like $25 or something.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get on top of that. Well, because the moment I saw the graphic there, I the first thing that came to my mind, besides my memories of playing it, I think I was playing the second game from memory. I don't think I played the first one. Was the interactive Muppet Treasure Island game that they made?
Oh my god! You remember that?
Yeah. And if you missed the first level where you had to find one of the clues, if you missed that and got all the way onto the island, you're because you don't have to restart the game all over again and go find it because you couldn't go any further.
I might have to, like, that was the full kids game, wasn't it?
I don't think that was for kids because I still think that was pretty scary. Some of the things that they were.
I'm gonna have to get in. I'm gonna have to look into that and give it a play because the last time I played that I was probably like 4 or 5. You know, I didn't know what I was doing, but I have vivid memories of that, and I'm remembering the animation and all that sort of stuff.
I just remember Tim Curry just like breaking the fourth wall every now and again, especially in the last bit. God.
I need to look it up now. Muppet's Treasure. Is that what it's called? Muppet's Treasure Island?
Muppet Treasure Island.
Holy crap!
What?
I'm just looking at it.
I wonder if I even still have the disc somewhere at home. I'm gonna have to go through it.
Oh, that looks like Monkey Island.
Exactly.
Holy crap! I'm gonna play that later.
I'm gonna have to try. Like, send me if you can find it. Send me the link.
It'll be on some like abandonware website. You probably can't. Yeah. So because you can't buy it anymore.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's. I didn't realize it was Activision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's got Yeah, there's a website called My Abandonware where you can get those old games that you can't buy anymore. And I've found a lot of good old games on there. But because this is one of those games I'd buy it if I could, but when they're not available, what are you going to do?
Yeah, we can't do much, can you?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, Marshall, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to know more about you. We'll definitely have to do this again. We'll do, and after this, we'll do a reaction video to one of your matches, the Blaze Elliott match.
Definitely.
But as always, where can we find you on all your socials?
Okay, you'll find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch TV, James F and Marshall. You will not find me on Twitter /X anymore. I'll be honest, I hate that platform. I think it breeds toxicity.
Yep.
So you won't see me on there. If you do see me on there, it's because I'm bored and want to start. But no, also I think I'm on YouTube as well. Like
you are on YouTube.
I used to do a lot of guitar covers and all that sort of stuff. Wouldn't mind doing that again one day. But yeah. So Facebook, Instagram. I guess Twitter. I guess YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah.
If there's more, I don't know. I've lost track.
Yeah, don't forget that he'll be making his OnlyFans by the end of the year.
I gotta. Before we finish this up, I want you to know this.
Yes.
I have tried. I have signed up to OnlyFans. I tried to become a creator. They will not verify me.
All right. I call absolute bullshit on this because I remember you sending the tweet and sending me the photo. I call bullshit on this. No,
I promise you, I've wanted to do it because my original plan, other than having candid photos of you doing random, all the photos, I don't care. People are going to have to pay for this. All the photos are going to be freshly mowed lawns and me going, that's your content. I am so prepared to do it, but those bastards won't let me sign up for it.
Fansly, Patreon.
No, but then I thought about Fansly, but then it destroys the gimmick of # James Marshall OnlyFans.
Oh, it's all right. Hey, you know, we can work it out somehow.
No OnlyFans. No, nothing. It can only be OnlyFans.
Oh God, I feel like starting OnlyFans and just changing halfway through to James Marshall, but I don't want to do the work. All right, man. Well, it's good to have you back on, and I can't wait to have you on in the future. James Marshall, thank you for being part of What If It's Cool.
Thank you, my friend.
And that's the end of that episode. Want to be featured on What If It's Cool, or know someone with an amazing story that needs to be told? Reach out to me. I can be reached on whatifitscoolbusiness@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Want more from What If It's Cool? Make sure to check out the YouTube channel where you can find the latest episodes of Mukbang Around, Reaction, and of course the podcast. And don't forget to follow What If It's Cool on all socials. It can be found at What If It's Cool. Keep that support coming. And until next time, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.